Hello, this is a short video for many of you who've asked questions over the years around the Gene Keys and the Gene Keys book and the audio series and the differences. And anyway, so I thought I'd give you an update about this area. So the Gene Keys book, here's the Gene Keys book, been through various editions. It's published by Watkins in London. And it's a beautiful book. I mean, looking book, and many of you, I'm sure, will know it or will have it already. So this was the book that took me 7 years to write, and in it is contained all the information about the Gene Keys, not the lines. People sort of think often they're going to understand about all the lines as well. That is another whole subject. It's already a big book. If I'd put that in here as well, I think it would be unmanageable. So that you can find in the Golden Path programs or in the Golden Path program books, which are called the Activation Sequence, the Venus, and the Pearl. So those are all books that contain information about your profile. These are just the Gene Keys, the 64 keys themselves. Next to this is this book, The 64 Ways. Now, after I'd done the book, I'd written the book, a couple of years later, I decided to do an audio book. Now, when I say an audio book, I wanted to do an oral, I should say, transmission of the same thing as the Gene Keys. So I went through all the keys, but from an oral standpoint. So I spoke out the transmissions instead of writing them. So they came out in a different way. And so this book, and they're kind of sister tomes, really. Like you can see, they're designed to go together. So you've got the visual, the written one, and then you've got the oral. This is the transcribed version of the oral teachings of the Gene Keys. So the 64 Ways, this one, this has got a funny back. It doesn't come like that. That was a test one I'm just holding. The 64 Ways is, many of you will know because you'll be hearing the recordings and the audios that we put out on the Pulse, our newsletter, every month, every week. And so you hear them because we give them out. But also they're available as an audio collection. Those took about 3 years to record for me because I had to really contemplate each key in depth. And they come out in a different way from the Gene Keys themselves. They came out a little bit more subjective, a little bit more of me in them, a bit more poetic. They have quotes and things and stories from my life. So they're of a different quality or style to the Gene Keys themselves. But the two of them together, they really give you the full transmission. And obviously, this book is the transcribed version of the oral Gene Keys, right? So the thing to not get confused is the Gene Keys themselves is also available as an audio book. And that's available on Audible. It's not read by me, although I am recording it currently due to kind of popular request. And so everything is available as an audio. The audio collection, the 64 Ways, these are the transmissions that came out orally that we're sharing on the Pulse. So you can also buy them as a collection of audio files, or you can buy them individually. And indeed, you get one with your profile for free, always the one of your life's work, whatever that key is. So I hope that straightens things out a little bit. And many of you who don't yet have this, it's a really lovely additional aspect to the Gene Keys. Or if you've been listening to the 64 Ways, you might enjoy also reading the transcribed versions, or vice versa. So hopefully that makes things a little bit clearer. As I said, I'm recording the audio version of the Gene Keys book and some of my other books now, and expect them to be coming out sometime in the future. So enjoy yourselves and blessings to you on your Gene Keys journey.